outside is not that cold, and if you take my hand, I'll walk with you to Georgia.
Hello everyone and welcome to Country with Celine. I am your host, Celine Shamarky, and today we decided to bring back Jeremy from the Town Saints.
Let's get the way we have fun, down in old Bonfire. Call out a little piece of paradise. Let's get some drinking cup, baby, lay your kisses on me. Burn like the stars and chase the fire in your eyes. Girl, what you doing tonight?
Jeremy, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good on a Friday.
Yes, it's Friday, yeah. Finish it. Come on. Then Saturday, Sunday, what?
I will leave that to the professionals.
Left me hanging on that one.
Sorry.
It's okay. So last time I saw you was at the CCMA weekend, which was probably a few weeks ago, maybe like 3 weeks ago. How was your time there at Media Row?
It was fun. I mean, it had been 2 years really since we, I guess, had done it. So it was fun to kind of get out there and do it again as I remembered it, being the chaotic running around that it normally is. But it was nice that it was a little later this year because normally it's much earlier in the day. Like we used to do it it used to start at like 7 a.m.
What? Oh,
yeah.
Wow, I did not know that. Oh my gosh, that's really early. Yeah, and there's so much running around. I mean, you're going from this radio station to this podcast to this on-camera host to this. It's pretty hectic. I don't know how you guys do it. I would be losing my marbles.
Yeah, it was, it didn't help that it's always on the Saturday and everybody gets into town on the Friday and everybody goes out Friday night. So like at 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, everybody's just looking like death. And all the radio people with the labels are like just running around getting coffee and trying to keep people, upright. So, but no, it was a good time. We got to talk to a bunch of people that we haven't seen in a while. Got to talk to some new people, which was very exciting. So were you blonder last time I saw you?
Actually, I just took a shower. That's why my hair.
Okay. All right.
When my hair is like completely dried and I blow dry it through, then it's a lot blonder. Now
Okay.
It looks darker, yes. So
It's very nice. It looks very nice.
You like it? Oh, I hate it like this.
Really?
I'm naturally blonde, but I'm naturally like a dirty blonde. So it's darker. It's like that shade of brown but blonde like mixed together. And I love the bleached blonde look. Like I love that look. I'm so envious of girls who have that hair naturally. So
I used to have bleached blonde hair.
Did you actually?
I'll find you a picture.
The whole head.
Yeah, like Billy Idol.
Oh my god, I can't see this.
I'll find it. Give me a second.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait for it.
That was you.
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
That's a long time. That's 20 years ago. So
That was how many years ago?
that's probably about 20 years ago.
20 years ago?
Yeah, I'm old. So
I swear, I think you told me your age when we were at the CCMAs, but just refresh my memory. How old exactly?
I'm 39.
39 years old.
Yeah, so I was probably 19 in that photo, maybe.
Oh, time flies by.
Oh man, it flies.
When you get older, like, it's crazy. Like, the years just go by, the months, the days, like, it's pretty sad, but that's why you have to cherish, like, every single memory and every single second, because those are times you'll never, ever get back. And it's scary to think of.
Yep.
It's true.
Especially in music, like everything in music either doesn't move at all or moves at light speed. So like you have to like take everything in and try to hold on to it because it all goes by very, very fast.
Yep. One day you're up on the stage performing, the next you're going to be in a retirement home.
Absolutely. That's my plan actually, is to go directly from the stage into assisted living. So
oh my gosh, it's expensive nowadays. I mean, in Canada, it's really expensive.
yeah, it's true. It's true.
So Jeremy, let's just dive in deeper for Town Saints. So how was the band formed? I read that it started off as a trio. Is that correct?
Sort of. It's yeah, there's a lot of rumors circulating about this.
Okay, let's hear.
No, there was so Chris LaBelle, who was our old lead singer, he ran into Chris McComb at a show in Ottawa here and said, I want to start a band. Would you be interested? And Chris said, sure. And then he said, well, we need another guy at least, to sing and play guitar. And so Chris and I knew each other. He called me. And then the three of us sort of started rehearsing, just doing vocal stuff and harmonies and seeing if we all kind of got along and could gel together as a unit. And then when it became clear that, yeah, we enjoyed doing that, we reached out to Dan and Jordan. We actually reached out to Jordan and Joe, who's in the band now. Joe said, I can't be in a band right now. I got too much going on. So we reached out to Dan to play bass. And so that was the original lineup, was me, Chris, Dan, and Jordan. And then, fast forward to 2018, Chris LaBelle left to go and do his own thing. And then Dan passed away. And then we found Chase, who was my cousin, as the new lead singer. And then Joe decided that he actually kind of said, like, life is very short and you never know when your time is going to come. And he always regretted that he had not joined the band. And then having watched, he knew Dan as well. So having seen Dan sort of pass away and realizing that life is very, very fragile and temporary. So Joe was kind of like, I want to do the band thing in case I don't get another chance. So.
Yeah. I was just going to ask, I was going to touch on the passing of Dan.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be very personal, and I don't like to kind of pull on that type of string for some people. But I was going to ask, what did you learn from that? But what you just said clearly summarized it all up. I mean, time is so precious, and every opportunity that you get, you just have to jump on it. Like, you can't let nothing pass you by anymore, because you're here today and you don't even know what's tomorrow. You think you'll be here tomorrow because every day you're waking up, sure, but it's really a gift to even see the light of the day the next day. It's like,
and I think we all sort of learned that from Dan's passing, was like, that's a thing that shouldn't happen, right? Dan was like 32 years old, and it was just a freak surgical complication kind of thing. Like, he had ankle surgery, and then 6 weeks later he had a blood clot, and that's how he passed away. And so we all just kind of learned from that like, man, things can happen, and your time can, you're not guaranteed anything. And so it's funny. I mean, it's not funny, but it was a very sort of poignant moment. Chris and I and Jordan were at the hospital the morning Dan passed, and we were just sitting in the cafeteria, started talking, and we were like, Dan's now passed away. We don't have a singer, so it's just the three of us, and we're kind of like, what do? We're like, do we stay a band? Do we fold it up? And the good times were good times, and it is what it is. And we just sort of stuck a pin in it. We were like, you know what? Everybody's obviously grieving and will be. Let's not talk about this for 2 weeks. Let's not talk about it. No one makes any decisions. We'll go away and then we'll talk about it. And then later that week, Dan's dad was actually like, you guys can't quit. He was like, that's all the work that you've done for this. Like, Dan would be mad if you quit. And so we were kind of like, yeah, that's, the best way to sort of honor his contribution to all of it would be to keep going. And so that was like, that whole experience was very much like, yeah, learning life is fragile. It can end at any time. And when it comes down to it, all you're left with is like the things you remember and the good times you had and the laughs. And we had a lot of those, and we want to keep having more. And so that's kind of, I think if anything now we all have a much healthier sort of attachment to the whole idea of the band and success. Cause we're just sort of in it now to have a great time.
I mean, I'm more than certain, just going off of what you said, that Dan would have been so mad at you guys if you decided to fold it up and call it a day. And to honor him, to continue the band, to continue like the legacy that like Town Saints is just, that's a big, especially when something like that happens, you go through a very life-changing event. And I mean, it's so easy to just kind of fold it up, call it a day, and kind of just say this chapter is done and it's never going to be the same anymore, and you just kind of move on it and go forward. But the fact that you guys didn't do that is just, it's amazing. And he is definitely so happy, because you guys have accomplished so much, like really so much. And now with like the new singers in the band, like he's probably so happy up there and like just wishes you guys nothing but the best. I mean, and where he is now, I'm sure as heck it's a better place than where we are now in the world nowadays, because it's pretty crazy outside. So
Well, we're really hard on Chase too. Like we really give him a hard time, and Dan would love that because he was such a smart, funny, witty dude, and like Dan was always the one just had a million zingers to go for everybody, and so we sort of kept the spirit of Dan alive by making sure we really gave it to Chase. So I'm sure that gives Dan no end to enjoyment up there either.
yeah. Oh no, for sure. And now just Rivertown Saints, the name I wanted to touch on. Whose idea was it to call you guys the Rivertown Saints? Was there another name you had in mind, or was that just it came across your minds and you just stuck?
Well, initially we had called ourselves LaBelle, and it turned out that there was like some legal problems with that with Patty LaBelle.
Oh.
And so we were like, well, we can't be that anymore. And so we went through we went through sort of a like, let's come up with a name thing, and we all just sort of threw words at it. And I think at one point we were debating calling her. So I mean, the official answer I give for this question in interviews is that we all grew up near a river, like me on the Rideau, Chris and Joe on the Ottawa, and we're good, and we're good lads, so we're Saints. So that was the thing. Really, what happened was my favorite Nintendo game is River City Ransom.
I don't know it, but okay.
You gotta be old. And so we had come up with the Saints thing that we wanted, and so we went with River City Saints, and then that turned out to be like a amateur soccer team in St. Louis or something. So we changed it to Rivertown Saints. So it was an exhaustive process to get there.
It was a process to get there, but you guys got there. And I mean, I can't think of any other name that would sound fitting other than Rivertown Saints. Maybe it's because you chose that name, so it sounds normal to everybody.
Well, yeah, it feels very us. It
Yeah.
feels very us.
No, for
So
sure.
we actually went out on tour. We had made little postcards to give to people with like our contact info on our Facebook and Instagram and stuff. We'd gone out on tour with Tim Hicks, and we were still called LaBelle, and we were handing these things out. And then like midway through the week, we became Rivertown Saints on that tour. And so we were like giving out these things to people and having to cross out like the name on it. So it was so ghetto.
The Rivertown Saints.
Yeah.
It's too
Yeah.
funny. I'm sure you guys fixed it afterwards and got the proper cards and all of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now group influences, because I know there's a lot of bands that when they first start off, they always look up to a different band or a singer or so on and so forth. So who was the group that you guys were looking up to? Or if it was maybe just a singer?
I think this was a cool thing about us all the time is it was never, it was always sort of a mashup of influences. Chris and I both sort of come from like a classic rock background, and we played in like pop punk bands growing up and stuff like that. And so that music's always still sort of resonated with us. LaBelle, when he was in the band, he was very much like a country guy, and he loved like the old country stuff. And then Dan was into metal. So it was like when you threw that all together, we essentially became a rock band with a country singer, and we had to tame ourselves to not make it too rock. But I think on a country side of things, everybody in the band seems to like Old Dominion. That's a band we really love, sound wise, vibe wise. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else. I'm a huge Brad Paisley fan, but I mean, it doesn't really show in our music in any way. I just love his guitar playing, and he's funny. So
Old Dominion, that makes total sense. I can totally see you guys as like the Canadian type of Old Dominion.
I'll take that all day.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, I didn't honestly. I don't know why, but Old Dominion never crossed my mind until you said that. So thanks for saying that, because now I can.
They just got a bit of a like. Old Dominion's got great songs. They're super hooky.
Yeah.
And they just have that little bit of a rock edge to them that I think comes very naturally for us.
I mean, and I feel like now it's so easy to kind of branch out to try out a different genre. Like we've seen so many different artists do it now, especially with country transitioning into like country rap and then obviously country pop and like Taylor Swift, country singer to pure pop singer. And now
Yeah.
like just kind of going back into the country again. So you guys could also like whenever you're ready release a like more dedicated rock album. I feel like that would be really, really, really sick.
Yeah, I think that'll be our 2022 project, is like a rap rock thing that no, that's not gonna happen.
Oh, come on, make it
But
happen.
but no, I mean the even the single that's out right now, what you doing tonight? We recorded that with a producer in Toronto who's never done country before. So, and his background is in like rock and punk rock and that kind of thing. And we followed some of the bands that he had worked with, and we got in touch with him. He said, "How would you feel about doing country?" And so much of it's transferable, right? You got to still understand, no matter what genre you're in, you got to understand melody and arrangement. And so he was really excited about it. And we said, well, let's just see what happens. And I found that the 3 songs we did with him, one of which is the singles out, were probably the most honest music we've made. Because we just kind of came into it with like, well, this is how I feel this should go, and we made it work.
Well, that song definitely worked. I give you A+ for that song. A+. Graded on Country with Celine. That's
Never had an A+ before until now. So
look at that. The first. What were you in school? Like a C+ student?
I was an A student until grade 9 when I had a girlfriend, and then my marks like just steadily plummeted. By end of grade 9 I was B, grade 10 was C. And then by the time I got to grade 13, because I'm not old.
You did grade 13.
Grade 13, yeah, I barely passed. So.
Oh my God.
Actually, I didn't pass. I had to go back. So.
Grade 14.
grade 13 and a half. So.
Yeah, I feel like everybody in elementary school and middle school were always averaging the A's and B's because, I mean, it was so much easier to get a good grade. And when high school came along, it was just like C's, F's, D's, like just giving them out like no tomorrow. It's like, thank you. Like my confidence was so boosted in elementary school to now come to high school and it's nothing like that. Like, thank you for that. It's crazy.
I think it's just you get into, it's like you find out what you're good at, and and also it's so much of it was just if you did the work. I understood a lot of it, but I was like, homework, I'm just gonna play guitar and talk on the phone instead. So
Yeah.
and then you don't pass the exams, and then you're not getting A's anymore.
Yeah, that summarizes high school. That summarizes it completely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Rivertown Saints, you guys have accomplished a lot, like a lot. I'm just gonna go through a little bit here. So you have millions of views on YouTube, Spotify streams. Your song Cherry Bomb is over 2 million streams on Spotify. CCMA nominated, CMAO, and so on and so forth. Tour with Tim Hicks and Kip Moore. You guys have played at festivals. So what do you think is the biggest accomplishment that you think the group has made thus far?
I mean, the fact, this will sound super cliched, but the fact that we're still here is honestly the greatest accomplishment. Because I think a lot of bands would have, turned in their microphones by this point. So I just look at sort of the resilience that has taken place, and that's probably the thing I'm the most proud of. Biggest accomplishment, that first tour we did with Tim Hicks, although I'm sure we were awful on it, was awesome because we hadn't even signed with a label yet, and they were just thinking of signing us, and they said, we're going to put you on this tour. There's no money, there's nowhere to stay, there's no food, there's nothing. You just opening for Tim Hicks, 8 dates, 8 shows, 10 days, figure it out. And in the space of like a week, we bought an old Chevy G20 van, and we found a bunch of people's floors we could sleep on, and we went on this tour, and we blew people away every night. And so I thought that was sort of set the stage for how our band was going to do everything. And that was kind of like, we did a lot with nothing. And so I'm very proud of everybody for being tenacious and getting it done. And I feel like that vibe has carried through. And that's led to a lot of opportunities that I think other bands might not have got because they weren't willing to drive 36 hours to do it, or whatever.
You have to make those sacrifices in the beginning to get anywhere. Honestly, that's why we intern. Like if you want to be a sportscaster, you're an intern, you're just grabbing coffee for everybody there, and you're doing all, excuse my language, but like the bitch work, but it will work out in the end, because eventually people are gonna notice you, and then eventually you'll land to a job position. So you gotta make your, what's that cliche saying? You gotta do your dues. You gotta
pay your dues.
Pay your dues. That's it. You gotta pay your dues first, and then it will all work out in the end. My dog just jumped up too. She just, all I see is this little head right beside me. Oh, there she's coming back. So now, Jeremy, 2022 is like a couple days away. I swear to God, like it's so soon.
This is flying by.
It's honestly flying by. So, what can fans expect music-wise for 2022?
New music coming out for sure. We already have a couple songs sort of in the hopper that, we got a killer summer single that's coming out next year. We're back in the studio in January with the same guy as the last time, if COVID permitting, obviously. But to do another couple songs. We signed with Sakamoto Agency, so we, are hopefully going to be playing much further out from Ontario. Like hopefully we'll get out west again this summer. We haven't been out there since 2018, so really love to get out there and play for some of the RTS fans that are out there. East, I don't know. I'll go anywhere. Hopefully we get everywhere this summer. I would say look forward to some exciting shows and some new music coming out.
Are you gonna come to Toronto anytime and play some shows in Toronto? Anytime
they'll have us. I love Toronto. We used to be when 2018, when things were, before the world shut down, we were in Toronto like every other weekend. So it's, I miss playing down there. The Phoenix, Adelaide Hall, there were so many great venues. So
next time you are playing in Toronto, you better let me know, because I am coming out to a show and I'm going to bring all my girlfriends, and that's going to be a fun night out.
I will guest list 2 of you.
Thanks,
that's the power I have. I will guest list 2 of you.
2 of me. Thank you. I'm happy with that. Even for one of me, just
that's right.
Happy. Okay, now before I let you go, we're gonna play a little game. Basically, I'm gonna shoot you out a couple questions, and you have to pick between the group members which it's more suiting for. So you can use it yourself if you think this is more suited for yourself. Okay?
Sure.
Who is the funny one?
Joe.
Who's the smart one?
Me.
I love it.
Me and Joe, I would say, is a tie.
Who's the one into sports?
Chase.
Most likely to get arrested?
Chase.
Poor kid. And who has the best pickup lines?
Best pickup? I mean, I don't know that any of us have good pickup lines. Chris definitely garners the most attention from the ladies, but it's not because of anything he says.
Okay, I'll give you that one. Chris looks like an act. Was he an actor at any point in time? Did he act in any movies?
No, but I bet you you're thinking of the show Nashville.
Is that where I'm thinking he looks like?
He looks like Gunner.
Gunner! He looks, oh my God, that's probably who, because I saw him at the Media Row, and he looks like someone that I know, but I couldn't.
We used to get that all the time.
Okay, so that makes, but there's someone else too. I'm going to figure it out, and then I'm going to let you know when I figure that one out. But there's someone else. Well, anyways, thanks, Jeremy, for joining me today on Country with Celine. I'm so excited to hear all the new music. And I mean, if it's anything like what you guys just put out, count me the hell in. And I can't wait to see you guys in Toronto. And I'm sure all of your fans are going to be so excited for what's to come next year.
I'm excited. I hope we get a chance to get out and do lots of playing. I'll play I'll play anywhere next year. Just put me in front of people with free drinks, and I'm there.
With free drinks, yes. And if it's anything like the year that we just had, hopefully 2022 is so much better. We can finally get out, play music, listen, be around people again,
Yep.
and it will be normal again.
We got hints of it this summer. We got little hints. So I'm holding on to that.
Now they're kind of reeling it back. They're just reeling it back. Yeah. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But anyways, looking forward for 2022. It's going to be a good year for you guys.
Excited. Thanks for having me.
Long time, working and waiting for the sunshine. Sweet thing, looking so fine, smiling at me 'cause she's all mine. Rhythm of the night to the radio humming. This good time's been a long time coming. Been a long time.